Author and playwright Dr. Elaine Brown Spencer is using her pen to shed light on dark secrets of some of society's most prominent institutions. Her books, Private Pain in Public Pews and Private Pain in Public Schools, have inspired stage productions that have had audiences laughing, crying, and taking a hard look at their own lives. Please welcome via Skype Dr. Elaine Brown Spencer. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, your books, what prompted you writing about these subjects?
I was prompted based on personal experiences. As I wrote in my foreword in my book, Private Pain, Public Pews, I was at a church service one time and witnessed a lady who had been going through a lot. And to make a long story short, I have a background in counseling and started to write some jot notes just to kind of share with her for her to think about, because it was clear that she was going through a lot at the time. And as I was writing, I couldn't stop. And I heard the voice speak to me, the Lord saying, you think you're writing for one, you're writing for the masses. And that's basically how it got birthed. A lot of people are struggling silently in the institution of the churches and not a lot of voice to kind of speak to it. Leaders to laypersons, a lot are going on. And through the book, it's, as you mentioned earlier, they've been adapted to about 5 plays now. And just going around spreading the news of hope.
Now, it seems these things you write about, because you're in Canada, but these things seem universal, because the first time I met you was in the radio studio in London, and you brought the play to London, and it was such a hit with the London crowd as it had been in Canada. Why is it that we're so bad in church, or it seems we're so bad in church in dealing with these subjects?
You know, I think it has a lot to do with that false perception of weakness, right? Like the church is, everyone is perfect, everyone's lives are perfect, and dare you let someone know that, no, I'm struggling silently. And I think that when you can dramatize truth, reality, and juxtapose it with comedy and drama, you have a very powerful representation of what's going on. And I think we've just tapped into something where people can get a breath of fresh air to say, let's be real. Let's have some real talk, have some fun, but also let's think hard about what do we do next about people silently struggling in churches.
Now, Doctor, that sounds wonderful. Let's be real. And you hear it all the time. Let's keep it real. But really, how ready is the environment for me to talk about my weaknesses, for me to talk about my past experiences, be it, you know, I've been in prison now. How really ready are we in our churches for that?
Well, I would say we're more ready than we were, that's for sure. And I think this is why you're seeing people who are speaking out on things that have happened to them 10, 15 years ago. Why? Because someone started talking about it and talking about it consistently. It's like the pressure cooker, right? If you let pressure build to a point, the lid is going to pop open. And, you know, and to prevent that, I think persons like myself and others who are putting it in people's face to say, we cannot live the facade. And safety is about how we are going to be willing to deal with broken souls. That's the mission of the church. Jesus is concerned about people's healing. And if we're really about the kingdom, we have to start thinking about those who are in need of help. And I think we have to continue to ask the questions, continue to do the plays, write the books, speak it, preach it, in whichever way we can, teach it, and let people know that we are going to create those safe places. We do have to be careful, clearly, about what we say and where. But we're definitely getting better at listening and doing something about it. But there's a lot more work to be done.
Let me ask you, so it's wonderful that the plays caught so many people's imaginations. People have laughed, cried, etc. But in terms of real transformation of lives and this work of the Holy Spirit, how effective is the play being, and what are some of the stories or testimonies that you have, be it in Canada or in the UK or further afield in Europe?
Yeah, interestingly, when I left London in May, I came back very, very, very tired because of touring, and we were in Jamaica and London, Birmingham, all over. When I came back, I was approached by a visiting minister to write a play. And, when he approached me, I said, seriously, it takes me 4 months to write a play. He wanted me to do it in a month because they were doing a big evangelism thing. And when he started talking, he asked it to deal with the end times. And funny enough, about 18 months ago at that time, the Lord spoke to me about writing something dealing with, the end times, getting ready. Well, miraculously, supernaturally, the Lord helped me to write that play. We had almost 700 people show up in 4 weeks, defied every marketing strategy of promoting shows. And out of that show, people got saved, backsliders came back to God, and mothers calling me about daughters who were astray, who came to that show, who are now telling their friends, I got to change. The name of that play is called Change. I got to change. And young men who, barely come to church came with their friends, and it was phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. Because usually, like I said, my big productions, 3-4 months, launch it, everything. And in 4 weeks, this is what the Lord was able to do. So there's this huge transformation that is able to, through the scripted word, dramatized to let people know about the reality of the time. So I'm really honored and blessed of what the Lord is doing. And those calls keep coming in, the emails, everything. From
Doc, let me,
change to
forgive me,
everyone.
let me interrupt you because our time is almost done, because I'm thinking of a local church who don't do the big productions you do, who are keen to use the creative arts to reach out to young people and to others. Where do we start from? Because sometimes our plays in church are so dire, really, we should put a DVD on. But where do we start from in our local assembly to create an effective play or effective sketch?
You have to start with the gifting. I'm telling you, they're in every assembly. The gifting of arts, you'd be shocked. Those young people, this generation, has been tasked, I believe, and gifted in the artistic. And I think we got to mobilize the younger people, because if you notice, there's a lot of people who are not in the praise team or not in the choir, and really beginning at excellence. Bringing that script together, mobilizing with those who have done plays before. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing with Cleo Productions, is working with local assemblies as well to get this thing where it needs to go. Because it does take some expertise, but the Lord can do it. He could work through any vessel.
Doctor, thank you so much for speaking to us. Hopefully we'll have some more time with you to talk some more. Maybe you can tell us step by step how my church can get a better production on. Thank you so much.